Good morning everyone. My name is Falak Dalsad and today I am going to read out the chapter A Short Monsoon Diary. So everyone follow me. A Short Monsoon Diary. Before you read, do you know what a diary is? It is a record of personal experiences written day after day over a long period of time. You can also use a diary to note down things you plan to do immediately or in future. One of the most famous diaries published as a book is The Diary of Anne Frank. Here are a few extracts from Ruskin Bond's diary, in which he portrays the silent miracles of nature and life's little joys and regrets. Read on. June 24th. The first day of monsoon mist, and it's strange how all the birds fall silent as the mist comes climbing up the hill. Perhaps that's what makes the mist so melancholy. Not only does it conceal the hills, it blankets them in silence too. Only an hour ago, the trees were ringing with birdsong, and now the forest is deathly still, as though it were midnight. Through the mist, Biju is calling to his sister. I can hear him running about on the hillside, but I cannot see him. Melancholy. Very sad. The mist is called melancholy because it makes people feel melancholy. Blankets. Covers. June 25. Some genuine early monsoon rain. Warm and humid. And not that cold high altitude stuff we have been having all year. The plants seem to know it too. And the first cobra lily rears its head from the ferns as I walk up to the bank and post office. The mist affords a certain privacy. Fern, a flowerless plant with feathery green leaves. A schoolboy asked me to describe the hill station and valley in one sentence. And all I could say was a paradise that might have been. June 27. The rains have heralded the arrival of some seasonal visitors. A leopard and several thousand leeches. Yesterday afternoon. The leopard lifted a dog from near the servants' quarter below the school. In the evening, it attacked one of Biju's cows, but fled at the approach of Biju's mother, who came screaming imprecation. As for the leeches, I shall soon get used to. A little blood-letting every day. Heralded. Announced or brought the news of. Imprecation. Curses. Blood-letting. Losing blood decades ago. Leeches were used to remove blood from a patient's body. Other new arrival are the scarlet minivates. The female are yellow, flitting silently among the leaves, like brilliant jewels. No matter how leafy the trees, these brightly colored birds cannot conceal themselves. Although, by remaining absolutely silent, they sometimes contrive to go unnoticed. Along come a pair of drongos, unnecessarily aggressive, chasing the minivates away. Scarlet minivat, bright red bird like a cuckoo. Drongo, a songbird with a stout bill. A tree creeper moves repeatedly up the trunk of the oak tree, snapping up insects all the way. Now that the rains are here, there is no dearth of food for the insectivorous birds. Comprehension check. Number 1. Why is the author not able to see Biju? Number 2. What are the two ways in which the hills appear to change when the mist comes up? August 2nd. All night the rain has been drumming on the corrugated tin roof. There has been no storm. No thunder. Just the steady wish of a tropical downpour. It helps me to lie awake. At the same time, it does keep me from sleeping. Drumming. Falling noisily. It is a good sound to read by. The rain outside. The quiet within. And although tin roofs are given to springing, unaccountable leaks, there is a feeling of being untouched by, and yet in touch with, the rain. August 3rd. The rain stops. The clouds begin to break up. The sun strikes the hill on my left. A woman chopping up sticks. I hear the tinkle of cowbells. the oak tree.
In the oak tree.
A crow shakes the raindrops from his feathers. And cows disconsolately. Water drips from a leaking drain pipe. And suddenly, clean and pure. The song of the whistling thrush. The song of the whistling thrush emerged like a dark, sweet secret from the depth of the ravine. Disconsolately. Unhappily. Ravine. Valley. August 12th. Endless rain. And a permanent mist. We haven't seen the sun for 8 or 9 days. Everything damp and soggy. Now here to go. Pace the room. Look out of the window. At a few bobbing umbrellas. At least it isn't cold. The hillside idlers. As late monsoon flowers begin to appear. Wild balsam. Dahlias. Begonias. And ground orchids. August 31. It is the last day of August. And the last monsoon growth has reached its peak. The seed of the cobra lily are turning red. Signifying that the rains are coming to an end. In a few days, the ferns will start turning yellow. But right now, they are still firm. Green and upright. Ground orchids. Mauve lady sleepers. And the white butterfly orchids. Put on a fashion display. On the grassy slopes of Landor. Wild dahlias. Red, yellow and magenta. Rear their heads from the rocky crevices. Where they have taken hold. Snakes and rodents. Floated out of their holes and burrows. Take shelters in roofs. Attics and godowns. A shrew, weak of eyesight, blunders about the room, much to amusement of the children. Don't kill it. Admonishes their grandmother. Chuchunders are lucky. They bring money. And sure enough, I receive a check in the mail. Not a very large one. But welcome all the same. Crevices. Narrow opening or cracks. In rock or wall. Shrew. Find its Hindi equivalent in the next sentence. October 3rd. We have gone straight. From monsoon into winter rain. Snow at higher altitudes. After an evening hailstorm. The sky and hills are suffused with a beautiful golden light. January 26. Winter reigns in the hill. In the hushed silence of the house. When I am quite alone. And my friend. Who was here has gone. It is very lonely. Very quiet. As I sit in a liquid silence. A silence within. Surrounded by the rhythm of rain. The steady drift of water on leaves. On lemons. On roof. Drumming on drenches dahlias. And window panes. While the mist holds the house. In a dark caress. And I pause near a window. The rain stops. And starts again. And the trees. No longer green but grey. Menace me with their loneliness. Caress. Touching or holding lovingly. Menace. Threaten. March 23. Late March. End of winter. The blackest cloud I have ever seen squirted over Missouri. And then it hailed marbles. For half an hour. Nothing like a hailstorm to clear the sky. Even as I write, I see a rainbow forming. Rusking bond. Comprehension check. Number 1. When does the monsoon season begin? And when does it end? How do you prepare to face the monsoon? Number 2. Which hill station does the author describe? In this diary entry. Number 3. For how many days does it rain? Without stopping. What does the author do on these days? Number 4. Where do the snakes and rodents take shelter? Why? Number 5. What did the author receive in the mail? Working with the text. Number 1. Look carefully at the diary entries. For June 24 to 25. August 2 and March 23. Now write down the changes that happen as the rains progress. From June to March. Number 2. Why did the grandmother ask the children not to kill the chuchundars? Number 3. What signs do we find in nature which show that the monsoons are about to end? Number 4. Complete the following sentences. Number 1. Biju is not seen, but his voice is heard because. Number 2. The writer describes the hill station and valley as. Number 3. The leopard was successful in but had to flee when. Number 4. The minivets are easily noticed because. Number 5. It looks like a fashion display. On the slopes when. Number 6. During the monsoon season. Snakes and rodents are found in roofs and attics because. Number 5. Although tin roofs are given to springing, unaccountable leaks, there is a feeling of being untouched by, and yet in touch with, the rain. Number 1. Why has the writer used the word springing? Number 2. How is the writer untouched by the rain? Number 3. How is the writer in touch with the rain? At the same time. Number 6. Mention a few things that can happen. When there is endless rain for days together. Number 7. What is the significance of cobra lily in relation to the monsoon season? Its beginning and end.